But I'm taking the Celtics today to fade myself. I've taken the last 3 games. I'm taking
Miami.
them Miami. Okay, my new thought is I'm going to take Boston in this game, and Miami will win. I'm just kidding, but I'll have to give you my real. Okay, let me hear your thoughts, Nick, and then I'll actually give an actual opinion.
Kind of really just decides on how much time the refs want to give Celtics to win the game and stuff. So,
Can we talk
yeah,
about the last basketball game was one of the worst officiated basketball games of my life?
I kind of both sides. There's some really bad calls.
Well, they were just soft calls, dude. First off, the Jimmy Butler offensive foul where he was literally just going to the rim where he just goes like this. It's a basketball move, and they gave him an offensive foul because his biceps too big, and Derek White had his chin in there, and Derek White's chin gets hit, and they called an offensive foul, and they couldn't replay it because they didn't have any challenges. But it was everyone was like, "That's clearly just like he's just going up." They did replay it, but the refs, for a flagrant, the refs replayed it. They can't change the call unless the Heat challenge it. If the refs replay it, they're only replaying it for a flagrant or something to clarify a call. To change the call, which it had already been made, the referees would have needed a challenge from the Heat, which the Heat had no challenges.
I think that was in like the second quarter.
No, it was in the fourth, bro.
It was
like
the fourth.
It was the final 2 minutes. It was like a huge play. It would have I think it would have made the Heat have like a 4-point lead.
And they were like, like this would have just been like a regular, like this isn't a foul. Like he just went up with it. Now we're gonna get called for a flagrant one because like they were looking at it for a flagrant one, which made no sense. Like it.
Well, he hit him in the face.
No, Derek White put his chin.
That's the reason they're looking to see if it's a flagrant is because somebody just got hit above the shoulder. I'm just
I know. Not really. Well, it's not even like that because if I did a spin move and some guy was an idiot like Derek White was in that play and had his head low and I did a spin move, my elbow just caught him while I did a spin move and I got a layup, they would just be like, there's not even a foul on that play. Just don't put your face at elbow level. You know what I mean? Like, you just got caught with an elbow because it's a basketball move. But I think the worst part was that goaltending play that they gave Bam Adebayo, where it was, what was it, a tech, a goaltending, and an offensive foul. So it ended up being like, 3 points and the ball back for the Celtics right after the Jimmy Butler offensive foul. There was a lot that end of the game. I mean, the refs were blowing whistles for whatever. Like you were just foul hunting. Both teams were just drawing looking for the content and just foul baiting. I thought the Celtics lucked out. They crapped the bed in the final 3 minutes. They lost that game. And they couldn't hit a shot in the final quarter. And then obviously Derek White does what needs to be done, but Jimmy Butler had led the team back, and that was the Heat were on their way to an NBA Finals until Derek White came along and just rained on their parade. What are your guys' thoughts on that? The closing minutes of those games of 6.
I don't know how you guys even remember this. I don't know. I don't think Boston lost. Is that Nick laughing out here? I don't know how Boston. The Miami Heat shot 35% all game. To me, it was a miracle the Miami Heat were even in this basketball game. The Boston Celtics should have blown them out of the water. They scored 104. It was 104 to 103. The Heat shot 35% from the field. I mean, that is unreal. And they lost by 1. How do you shoot 35% and lose by 1? They scored 19 points in the third quarter. Boston only scored 22. I don't know what you're talking about. Jim Butler was nowhere to be seen the entire game. I guess he had 3 nice free throws at the end. And
what do you mean? He literally free throw hunted to get them back.
but I'm saying 5 of 21.
Yeah, but he literally went, I think, 4 times in a row, drew a foul, then fucking fumbled the ball and drew a foul at the 3-point line. Jimmy Butler single-handedly got himself to the line and then just hit a bunch of buckets. He literally, like the commentators were even saying, they're like, he can't find his shot, so he's doing the one thing he knows what to do: draw the foul and see the ball go through the hoop through the free throw line.
Jimmy looked scared with the ball. That fourth quarter, he just looked.
Shot 5 of 21. Bam shot 4 of 16. I don't know how the Heat only lost by 1. It should have been a complete and utter blowout.
You know what? It sounds like a big we're talking about or Space Jam, like the ball, where it has all the secret powers. Jason Tatum looked like season. Now Jimmy Butler looks like absolute garbage. Did they split superpowers? I don't know. Who's for Game 7? But that's kind of like we haven't gotten like good games from both players. I get that's
so the Miami Heat outscored the Celtics in the second half, and in the final quarters, this Heat outscored the Celtics as well. The Celtics just in the fourth quarter couldn't get it away. I mean, Derek White by
Duncan
6.
Robinson,
but the second half
threes.
Duncan Robinson lost in the game. Back to back, wide open, spot up threes. He bricked.
Paid him 95.
He was nervous.
I put out it.
Both those shots were long.
His form was
off.
off.
No, both shots he was probably thinking about the shot and not like missed them both long.
I think he was nervous. The first 3 he dribbled. I don't know why he dribbled. I think he was nervous.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
He should have took too long.
He's thinking too much.
Yeah. It is unfortunate to see because I really was hoping that I put out a tweet also saying I was like, yep, Nick, Duncan Robinson might have trade value now. And then like those 2 plays happened, and so I was like, you spoke too soon. Someone like commented on the tweet. I was like, damn, bro.
Because been like he was really impactful that game. He kept the Heat in that game by making a lot of really clutch shots.
Playing good defense and like just everything. Like it was the Duncan Robinson game in the second half. Like honestly, it wasn't even Jimmy Butler keeping in the game. It was Duncan Robinson.
No, and those 2 shots, it happens. I mean, it sucks. It's not how you want to end, but
no, of course not.
And then the ending, yeah, Celtics got bailed out. That was the luckiest piece of shit. Well, the Heat got bailed out with the and it being a 3. Al Horford, what are you doing there?
No, I heard it in a pot. So Jimmy Butler, when he at the top of the key, kind of when he is about to go to corner, he fumbles and drops the ball, and then he picks up the ball and dribbles again. So from what I've heard is Al Horford probably in his mind got thrown off by that because he thought he was about to get called for a travel, but because he fumbled the ball, in basketball rules, he lost possession of the ball, so he can restart his dribble. So that's how he was able to get to the corner, and that's why Al Horford kind of got like discombobulated, and then that's why he like jumps everything. So they're saying because the way we saw it on the broadcast, we saw Jimmy's back. We didn't see him drop the ball, but from one of the journalists who was at the game, he said if you saw it from the other side, you saw that Jimmy fumbles the ball, picks it back up, and dribbles again. And that's where Al Horford does that kind of like thing and loses spacing. And that's where Jimmy Butler is able to draw the foul because Al Horford overcompensates and puts his chest into him. And, Jimmy throws himself into him. Just, good awareness in the situation. Now, tonight, we're in the Garden. Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler have been shipped in the last 3 games. Jackson, who do you have winning tonight and why? And then Nick.
The Boston Celtics, because they're still the better team. And it'll be the second Boston, Miami, Boston, Florida playoff upset that I've called. So I look forward to the first time in NBA history being done. I don't think it equates to the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. I don't think it's the biggest choke job in NBA history, and I don't think Spoelstra should get fired. Like,
No, it's an 8 seed. Just want to put that out
Well-
there. It's an 8 seed.
you're up 3-0. Now the excuse becomes, oh, we're an 8 seed. The Heat were a 1 seed last year. You still have Jimmy Butler. You still have Bam Adebayo. You're up 3-0. You should win the series no matter what you want to tell me. But you can cope all you want.
How are you supposed to fight against a guy who watches the town 4 times a day?
Well, 4 times a week. I don't know how he does that. How do you watch a movie?
He doesn't have sex with his wife.
How do you watch a movie like every other day? The Town's not a short movie, is it?
His wife's buying like
Got it.
like BDSM and like straps and stuff, and she's just laid there strapped in the bed naked. She's like, "Have sex with me, Joe," and he's like, "No, I gotta watch the town." And he's just sitting there.
4-minute movie.
It's an hour and what? 40 minutes?
2 hours.
That's not bad.
40 minutes?
2 hours and 40. I
2
thought.
hour.
So that's a 3-hour
No,
movie.
2 hours and 4.
Oh,
Hour-
no, that's not bad. That's light work. That's 124 minutes.
Doesn't he have like
That's
kids
still-
and a wife though?
I'm
And a
telling you,
job?
he
Does
puts
he want
his.
to experience the world? Go outside.
Also, people say being an NFL head coach is the worst. I feel like being an NBA coach is the worst. Like MLB, you don't really do anything as a manager, in my opinion. And then in the NBA, though, you're on the road half the games, and like you're seen on TV. You're like way more, and also basketball coaches are way more in shape too than football coaches. So I just feel like being a basketball coach, like it's way harder to be a family man.
Gotta be a single man.
Look at Ime
Are
Udoka.
there
He's
any
supposed-
single men that are coaches?
Ime Udoka supposedly used to love to hit the clubs with his team, his players.
I bet they're all single. When the NBA season.
All right.
I
Let me
mean,
hear it,
Brown.
Yeah.
Jalen Brown's a name to watch tonight.
Who's gonna win?
You know, I can't see. I don't want to see the Celtics winning this, and this is all just coming from bias. Yes, the Celtics are the better team. The Celtics should win tonight. They should win this game, right? But like, I don't know anymore. The Heat are just. If Jimmy Butler keeps playing like this, yeah, the Celtics are gonna blow him out. It's gonna be so sad. Gabe Vince back and showed some promise there, which was nice. But I'm still gonna pick. I can't pick the Boston Celtics to win this series. I just can't. I can't do it in heart of hearts. So I think Bam Adebayo steps up, and maybe Hassan Whiteside comes off the bench and gets him a win. I don't know.
Hassan, they've had him signed secretly all season. You just didn't know. You just didn't know that Hassan was there. But with that being said, in my mind, I want to do the betting thing where you fade. All right. So it happens what you want. But for me, I sit here and I want, even though at this point, I personally believe that the Denver Nuggets will win the championship regardless. I do want to see Jimmy Butler in there. And they shit the bed. I'm going the Miami Heat. I can't fade them. I'm not like that. I think the Boston Celtics are the favorites, but I believe in Jimmy Butler, and this is his moment. His time is nigh, and maybe he bitch slaps Bam Adebayo into learning how to play basketball again.
He's got to learn how to play basketball.
This is a Jimmy. Like, I'd get him. Like, just don't show up.
What'd you say? You kind of cut out right there.
Oh, I think the Butler legacy game. If he loses
Yeah.
badly too, like, just don't show up next year. like don't play basketball. Think about retirement because yeah, down 3, losing twice back to back, losing to the Celtics in the year prior, and then this wouldn't be good luck.
It would be tough.
I agree it is a legacy game, and we'll find out if this is the end of the greatest playoff run or if there's going to potentially be another series. So let's move on